Hello guys, my name is Salman Patel and I am back with another tutorial of Photoshop. But this time I will teach you Photoshop from the beginning with the help of few tasks which I made, and I will be very happy if you will be doing those tasks at your home as well. But before start working on tasks, I want to tell you few important concepts of Photoshop. The Photoshop version which I am using for this tutorial is CS5. You can install Photoshop CS5, CS6 or CC, any version you want. I'm going in File and New option. Here you will find few different options which I want to tell you right here. The first thing is the name. You can name your file here, or you can name your file after completing everything and when you are saving your file. So it's your option. I'm giving it name practice 1. The second option you will find is a preset. This is for the page size. If you are working for A4 size, for example, and you don't know the size of A4 page, then you can go in the international paper. Here you can find the sizes of A4, A6, A5 or A3. Once you selected A4, the default size of A4 page will appear right here, and you do not have to do any changes. Just click OK and you will get an A4 size canvas. But for the beginners, I suggest you to please select custom option from here and give your size right here. But importantly, do not select millimeters or inches or centimeter, just select pixels from here. I'm going to select 600 pixel by 400 pixel. Resolution you can set 72 because 72 pixel resolution is by default for electronic media, and we are working for the electronic media right now. Second important thing is the color mode. Here you can select RGB and 8-bit, which will give you a large number of color quantity. Secondly, very good quality of your picture or of image size, which you are working for. So RGB 8-bit is perfect for the electronic media as well. Background color, you can select white or any other color you want. Let's keep it white and click OK. There are two important concepts in Photoshop. First is about layers, which you will find right here in the right side of the Photoshop. If you don't see the layers panel in this area, then you can go in Windows and click on layers option or press F7 shortcut. Second important concept is selection. On the left hand side you will find a toolbox on Photoshop. Here you will find many tools just to select areas. So second most important concept of Photoshop is deselection, and we will be discussing both in this tutorial. Just to give you a concept of layers in Photoshop, let me show you a simple example. I am selecting a rectangle marquee tool from a toolbox, and let me fill a color in here. Now you will see, let me draw one more rectangle here just to give you a brief concept of layers. Okay, now you will see I have made two rectangles on a background layer here. There are a few problems with this. The first problem is if I want to move this rectangle from its position, so I can move my background by default. Second important thing, let's say I want to erase this blue rectangle, only blue rectangle, not to do anything with the green rectangle. So when I erase blue rectangle, it also erase my green rectangle as well. So there is a problem definitely. To overcome this problem, let's say let me remove this both rectangle with the help of rubber. So to overcome this problem, Photoshop have a layers concept. Do not do anything on the background, that's my opinion. For every particular task in Photoshop, let's say if you want to create a rectangle, if you want to brush anything, every time you have to do any task on Photoshop, do it on a separate layer. How to take a new layer? Here's a button in right side bottom to create a new layer. Once you create it, a new layer will create, an empty new layer will create. Now let me draw a rectangle, fill it with the same color. I'm taking another layer here and I am drawing another rectangle, and this time I will fill some other color. Now you will see there are two different layers and a background is separated. So now if I want to move this rectangle, green rectangle, so what I can do, I can select layer 1, or I can right click on the green rectangle and I will find layer 1 option and the background option which you want to select. I said layer 1 and I can move this rectangle with the help of my move tool, which is the first tool in your toolbox. Okay, if I want to move blue rectangle, so I can select blue rectangle layer and move this. Okay, or I click and select the blue rectangle layer. The second thing which I told you is if I want to erase just a blue rectangle, so I will select the blue rectangle layer and I will remove blue rectangle and nothing would be happening to the green rectangle at all. One of the most important thing with the layers is the placement, and for example I want to uh, select this green layer over blue layer which is now behind the blue layer. So what you can do, you can select layer 1, the green layer and drag and drop right above the blue layer, so it will be um, it will appear on top of the blue layer or top of the green layer. So you can change its Z index, which is the HTML5 property. You can also change its Z index with the help of drag and drop. Now to the concept of the selection, but first let me delete these two layers. To delete these layers, select a layer and press delete button. One by one your layer will be deleted. I am going to select rectangle marquee tool from this toolbox. If you want to create a perfect square, so what you can do is to press shift, hold shift button, so it will create a perfect square. If you leave the shift button, it will create a normal rectangle, but when you click on shift, it will create a perfect square. Okay, now I have created a selection of rectangle shape, so let me select a new layer and fill a color. To delete this selection, what you have to do is to press Ctrl and D. It will deselect your selection, just like which we did in the previous concept of layers. So there are many tools for selection in your toolbox, but let me discuss more important things and how to align your content according to the page or other layers. Let me create another selection which is going to be eclipse, which means a circle, and I'm going to create another layer. I'm going to fill a color in this. I will hold Ctrl and press D to deselect my layer. Now I have created two objects, which is one is rectangle and second one is a square actually, and second is circle. So for example, I want to place this circle right in the middle of my background. Let me hide the rectangle for a time being. To hide this rectangle, you can click on this eye. Now I have only circle on my canvas. So for example, I want to centerize this circle according to my background. How to do this? You have to select your circle layer and your background layer together by holding your control button, and when you go to the move option, move tool, sorry, you will find different options over here, which is now activated. If you select only one layer, like I have selected a circle layer, so you won't be able to see these buttons activated. So let me select two layers, which is one is background layer and second is a layer 2. These buttons are activated. Let me click on each button so you will see what is happening. This is vertically center now and vertically going to the bottom. This will go to the left, this will come to the center, and this will go to the right. To centerize the page, you can select horizontally center and vertically center. It will be centered to your background. Now coming back to the blue layer, I want to center this circle according to the blue background. So what you can do, you will select both layers and again you can go to the center horizontal wise and center vertical wise. If you want to keep all the two objects in center of the background, so what you can do, you can also select all the three layers and click on the same vertical and horizontal center buttons. It will be in center of your page. So this is it for the introduction of Photoshop with the two important concepts, layers and selection. In the next tutorial, I will teach you Photoshop with the help of different tasks. So before going to uh, next tutorial, let me save this which I created. To save this file, you can go into the file and save option. It will ask you to save with a name. Let me keep this intro one. And you must save PSD file which will be the Photoshop file with all the layers available. So you have to keep your source file with you. First, I'm going to save this as my Photoshop file. Second, I'm going to save as option. Now I'm going to save this in a JPG format or the PNG format or the GIF format, any format you want. Let me select JPG format. Keep this quality on the large file size and it will save as an image, a JPG file. So thank you guys for watching my video tutorial. In the next video tutorial, I will teach you Photoshop with the help of different tasks, and I will create a simple poster design in next video tutorial. Thank you guys for watching my tutorial.